So I already know what you're thinking. Why is there another project vehicle on the back of my truck? And what is it? It's a 69 Plymouth GTX, a Roadrunner, a GTX trim wheel Roadrunner. Why did I drag that home? Oh, wait a minute. It's half a 69 GTX. What in the world did I drag this thing home for? Before I start telling you about what I want to do with this car, let's go up north where I dragged it out of a shipping container. I got my friend Ted with me. We're pulling the car out. There's some other stuff on the property I'm going to show you. And then we'll get it back here and I'll go through it. We'll look at why it's only half here. I'll get it unloaded, I'll put it in the shop, and then I'll tell you what I'm going to do with it.
Gotta figure it out.
He's young though.
Oh, yeah. He's got time. Is that your son? No.
Don't say that! Oh my God!
Man, don't bust me. I got this old lady come up to me. Are you his father?
I spent too much time restoring other
I was gonna
people's
kill her.
cars.
And then I got it again from another guy.
Yeah, but you're old enough to be.
It's out of park.
You know, I got a daughter, right? He wants my daughter. I said, you missed my... I said, no. I'm just buddies with her. I said, you missed my daughter by 10 years. If you were 10 years younger,
We're gonna
you
at
could
least
have
need to get the front end up at speed.
Well, let's get it lined up first, and then hold on. Let's get over here on the flat, and I'll move the camera.
Hey, if you get in trouble, we'll just use them.
Well, get that piece of wood too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Put
the
it up here.
Bobcat's only 1,000 feet down the road. If it's
Well, I can winch it on. It's not a big deal.
You're good over here. You're on over here. You need more speed or whatever. Yep. You need more speed. Go for it. Too much speed. Go for it. Go for it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Look at that. A little bit more. Oh, now where's that log?
We got it.
Log.
Okay, bring it here. Where is it?
You're gonna hit the log in a second.
Oh, we're gonna hit
Hardest
that.
I've worked in
Right
days.
there, boom.
Holy shit.
Look at that.
Perfect.
Wait a minute. Where's the 440?
It's got I think I've loaded a car or two before.
I brought some wood. I wanna.
Oh, you got the wood in front of here.
No, it's good.
We got to go further up.
No, it'll be perfect right there.
That's perfect.
I'll see what he says. Around the front back.
Josh, you want the car further up?
This will bounce and you're not gonna hurt anything.
Yeah, I brought some wood. I was gonna.
Or you want a diagonal?
I'm gonna put a piece of 2x4 to hold this up.
You want the car to go further?
No, it's perfect.
Is that good?
Yeah. So I'm gonna brace this up so it doesn't do this.
I got a zip gun and zip screws if you want to do it in steel.
Bin or whatever it
They say it's a good day for this one.
is. I think they let it go.
He's happy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Ozzy.
It's a good start.
The dealer 17, I thought, was good
I
for
mean,
him.
we're looking at the doors and the roof and all of it, and the frame. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And how forward the pictures? I got pictures.
Oh,
Yeah, it's already painted, everything, it's all ready to go. And the guy who did the frame rail actually did the whole car.
Oh, okay.
So all they were gonna do is put the motor and the interior back in it. And yeah, he died on Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Yep,
Josh, he's going to send you a bunch of pics of this car back in the day.
Okay.
yep,
You'll have a little library on it.
yeah.
That's good.
I just wanna.
Get this all pinned down.
All right, so this is where the GTX was sitting here in this shipping container. But look at this. It's a 69 Charger 500. I don't believe it, but I got to. I'm looking right at it. One of like, what, 325 or something like that? How about that? If you think that, you think
It's one of 380.
380, okay.
Ish.
If you think that's cool, hold on, check this out. You're looking at a General Lee jump car from what, the Dukes Fest? Here, check this thing out. They gussied up for the show. It's got a piece of tin welded in the front for a grill, but it looks good from afar. This thing went through the air. You know, it's a real 69 Charger, rotted out. It had, you know, they put the floor back together, but they jumped her, and it must have come down awful hard in the back, because look at this. This is all scabbed together, but where are you going to see generally jump car yard art? You're not, except here at the Quick Speed Shop. Well, old Ted and I made the trip out there to get this GTX. I'll do some more filming when I get home, but it's half here. 294 Suregrip. It's got Magnum 500s on it. 69 GTX, which is a Roadrunner. And it's missing a GTX grill, B5 blue. The fenders and all that are rough, but the doors and the fenders and the hood are gonna get sold. It's got a new floor pan, rockers. The welding is not the best, and then the frame rails were plated with some kind of kit, and I'm a little dubious about that. You can see the holes on the inside. I might end up buying new AMD Charger rails for the back of this and put new rails in the back. Holy shamoly, bro. Car's doing 100 miles an hour. I'm not sold on the scabbed over rear rails. Like, see here, oh yeah. It was rotted through and holes here, then plated. I think I have to buy some new frame rails for the back of this. But it's got a new floor from here forward. It's got rockers. We got the glass, we got all the window mechanisms, the steering columns, the tilt column, or I mean not tilt, it's floor shift column rebuilt. Got the 440 Roadrunner hood, big block specific K-member, all restored. It's awesome. Ted, what did you think about our trip today to get the GTX?
It was a hell of a trip. It was a hell of a road trip. Guys are good, man. Car guys are good. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
It used to look like this, sort of. What are you doing to all these cars? But this is a Superbird, Saxon Martin, but there's no vinyl top. That's weird. Every Superbird had a vinyl top from the factory.
Not theirs.
Daytonas didn't, but Superbirds did. Look at this CUDA with the freaking. There's the hood. Don't lose the hood.
Don't lose the hood.
Look at this.
Glass windows.
That's some serious detail right there, bro. So I got to ask you, what are you doing with these three cars? You got to tell me. Are they for sale?
They're for sale.
I've been dealing the Mopars all day. Can I buy 4 Mopars in one day?
And there you go.
Bam.
Oh, look at that. Wait, you're short. You're short one.
Nope.
Oh my God.
Better count it.
Look at this. Look at this.
I'll take it.
Look at this. There you go. Look at that. Ching.
3 Hemi cars. What is that bird doing? I bought 3 Hemi cars in one day plus a GTX.
Yep.
Maybe I'll just mount them right in here like a shelf.
There you go.
Mount them right in the car.
Don't let them roll around your truck. They're awesome. Don't lose your hood. Look at this. It's got the 4-prong holes.
These are all
this would stand up like this, you know, on pillars.
These are all Hemi cars. This is bench seat 4-speed 69 Roadrunner. We got a 70 CUDA Hemi car, Saxon Martin 70 CUDA.
All Saxon Martins.
Is it 70 or 71?
All
70.
Saxon Martins. Look at
Then
that.
we got a 70 Superbird Hemi. I don't believe it, but I got to. I'm looking right at it.
Oh, it's all working.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for riding along to get the
Untouched.
stuff.
Untouched.
Your hand's cold
Ready
like
to
wine.
roll.
Can I go now? I got a headache and I got to get home before my
You didn't get
GTX
the
breaks.
headache again, did you?
No, before my GTX breaks in half. It's a pretty good car. We got a good deal here. I need to put rear frame rails in it. I'll go over it later tomorrow in the sun. Yeah, stay tuned for that. We'll go over the whole car, but
We'll add it to the video.
we got it back. We towed it with this old junk Ford, big block right there, boom, with my factory topper.
Oh, take a picture of all the material inside
All
the
the
back. Bring it
material,
over
here we go. Hold on, I'll lay it out tomorrow. Good thing we got this topper on here because we're going to put all the glass in, all the trim.
Nothing's moved back there. The glass
The
is good.
Dutchman panels in there. We got this topper in there, all the parts. That was the deal. Look at the B5 blue on the front of this 69
Right here.
GTX.
This is the color it's going to be.
B5
right here.
blue. Magnum 500 wheels, 440 car. Right there, baby. 440. Boom. All right, I got to get home before it gets too dark. Okay, we're back here at the Quick Speed Shop. Let's take a look at this Roadrunner GTX and look at some of the work that was done on it while it's on the trailer. And then I think I'm going to get it down off the trailer, rolled in the shop. I'm not going to work on it, but I'll tell you a little bit about what I got planned for it. But while it's up on the trailer, let's take a look. So this car was a 440 car, big block car. The fender tag is missing, so I don't know the options it had, but it's manual steering, drum brakes. It's got new front frame rails all the way down, but the welding, as you can see, is amateur at best. So some of these I'm going to grind and redo. Like this is a new piece here, and it's booger weld there. I'm going to grind and clean that up. Some of the welds here on the shock towers and stuff seem okay, but it's a little rough. Let me see if I can get the door open right quick. You see the B5 blue here, the original color to the car. It's a black interior car. It's a floor shift model. Apparently the steering column's been rebuilt, and I think they went and whoever parted this car out pretty good because all the trim is missing. I mean, I'm sorry, all the dash is missing. There's no interior, but it's got new floors and stuff. But you can see the welding is not the best at all. It's pretty booger welded all the way around. Pretty nasty on the firewall here where they tied in. Pretty gross weld there. So I'm gonna have to do a lot of grinding to clean that up, and probably want to re-weld some of it. Here it's got a rocker. Looks like scabbed on. Oh, this looks like, well, this is original rocker. I'm not sure what's going on here with this body line. Maybe that's a factory body line. I'm not sure. Let's get down here and look. Yeah, it's got filler in it there. Oh, it's got some nasty plug welds there. It's been patched back here. Right here they patched the back. See some zip screws and stuff. So not the best work whatsoever. These doors are actually pretty solid. There's a little bit of surface rust and a couple of pinholes in the bottom, but they torched out speaker. Oh, actually, look at that. There's a bunch of filler all through it. And these doors are rough. Well, there's a big boogered weld hold all mudded up. These doors need to be skinned. I'm gonna end up selling the doors and the whole front clip, because what I do with it, which I'll tell you in a minute, is I'm not going to need that. You can see, I don't know if you can tell in the video, but you can see how wavy, full of filler here. The fenders, the hood's pretty decent, but the fenders are definitely rough. Ton of filler in here, a lot of filler in the fenders. Like how thick that is, probably rotted back here. So I'm not as excited about the sheet metal as I thought it was going to be. Roof and all that is in good shape. All this inner structure is in pretty good shape. You can see these nasty welds here where they added this panel to the rocker. I'm gonna have to clean all that up. Obviously it needs quarter panels. It's got the factory door piece here. But they did put a whole new floor in it, which is nice. It goes back to about here under the back seat. Then you've got the original section back under the seat, which has some holes in it. Now this is what scares me here. It's got the original frame rails in the back, but they skinned them with like 16 gauge sheet metal. You can see down there it's kind of like painted black, and I don't know if they got like a kit where you overlay it. Or actually, that almost looks like a new frame rail front section. I don't understand what this boogered nonsense is here, but this looks like it might be a new rail on that side maybe. Back here, this is the factory rail. It's been POR 15. But on the inside, you can see there's some holes and boogeredness and zip screws and pinholes here with daylight through. So that rail is pretty rough. Come over on this side, looks like they plated the rail. See these tack welds? Looks like they plated over the original frame rail with sheet metal here, and then there's a seam, but you can see the original rail on the inside. Here's all the holes, the body holes and stuff. They're all welded over, and then you can see a weld here. So they tinned over the original rails in the back. I think I'm going to go ahead and pull the trigger and just buy brand new frame rails and replace the frame rails all the way back with the original ones. Here you can see what it's supposed to look like on the inside of that one, and then it's skinned over on this one. On this side you can see the original wheelhouse, inner and outer. Here there's a seam here where the seam goes, where they separate. This side looks like it might have a rocker all the way down. Yeah. This door here, they haven't mudded over the trim holes yet, but it's got filler in it, and it's got rust in the bottom of it a little bit. But it looks like I'm gonna guess they put a new rocker on this side. Yeah, oh yeah, right here. They've got it cut and pieced back together, so obviously they cut it too short. That needs to be fixed. There's filler in these quarters. I wonder if the quarters had been replaced at some point before. Well, it might be original up top there, but obviously the work is not the best, whoever did the work on this. Here we can see the floor, more booger weld along the edges, but it's a brand new floor pan. Back to here, and then it looks like it's got another section in the back, and the welds are, like I said, pretty atrocious all the way around. The front rails, like I showed you, don't seem too bad. Where the shock towers are and stuff, that seems to be, oh, this side is a little bit worse. They skip welded it. There's a bunch of, yeah, I gotta re-weld some of this, grind it out and re-weld it. You see that's pretty nasty in there, patching pieces. Luckily, this fender's got filler and damage all in it. And this door's got filler in it here. Like, this is all filler in the corner. So this car was like amateurly restored at some point, you know, probably in the 70s or 80s, probably in the 80s, and then continued to go bad, and then it was started to get fixed again, and then I ended up buying it. You know, I'm not a professional, but I do way better work than this. That's pretty nasty. So this side, the entire wheel, inner and outer wheel wells cut away, and they, you know, they sell these parts. How are we looking here? We got a little bit of rust around the roof, a couple of pinholes, but not too bad. The quarters will come back up in here. We got a new panel around here, and I got a new Dutchman panel for here. So it comes with some panels. It's got the deck lids, got the bumpers. I've got all the trim. I got the window mechanisms for the front and the rear doors, or I mean the front for the doors and the quarter windows. And I got the windshield, I got the rear glass, I've got some other miscellaneous parts. It's got Magnum 500 wheels on it, which are not cheap anymore. So I got a good start here with this car. And it is a GTX, even though it doesn't have a GTX grill in it anymore. I think they put a regular Roadrunner grill in it. And it is original B5 blue car, like I said. So you see what these Mopars bring, they do not give them away. They do not give them away anymore. I'll just tell you what I paid for it, just so we can be honest here, and like you can see what things cost. I paid $5,500 for this 69 GTX Roadrunner. Now you're saying like, well, it's half a car. If this had rusted out quarters and, you know, the butchered rails, but quarters, and looked like a complete car, they're like $9,000. People didn't buy this car because it looked like this, and they were scared of it. I watched it on Facebook for months, and I watched the price go down, down, and down, and I'm like, you know what? This is the platform that I need, this B-body platform with the hardtop, and I'll tell you why in a minute. But this car ended up being good for me because everyone else is scared away by the look of it. That's what I think happened. I've seen other ones in worse shape but complete sell for a lot more money. So like I said, if this was a Charger, something like this is $15,000-$20,000 if it's a 69 Charger. So $5,500 for a 69 GTX, and it's got New York State paperwork for me, a registration, transferable registration for the car, the VIN tag, all the body numbers, they all match. So it's not, you know, there's no funny business. It's original 69 GTX Roadrunner with the paperwork, so that was a bonus for me too. You know, it's just missing the fender tag, which told the options, but it's got the VIN tag on the dash and everything, so everything's good to go there, and up-to-date paperwork. So it was a no-brainer for me. And let me get it on the garage, and I'll finish up the video, and I'll tell you what we're gonna do with it. So under the hood here, we got the original B5 Blue. It's a non-AC car. Manual steering, probably manual brakes, I would imagine. I'm not sure. But it's had new, like I said, new frame rails put in down there. The towers are good and all that. It's got the big black K-member in it. And it looks like it's steering box has been rebuilt maybe. It steers very nicely, and the column works very good. It's here. It's got the body number that matches the VIN tag, like I said. So it's a legit 69 GTX Roadrunner. There's no funny business here. As you can see, it's pretty much missing, but I'm going to be looking for, that's right, a motorhome 440, made famous by Roadkill. You know, some 70s 440, low compression motor. I'd take an HP 440 if I can find one, but they're all the money, so I have no idea what happened to the original drivetrain from this car. It's got a Z-bar bracket on the frame and the hole in the firewall, like it could have been a standard shift car. I'm not sure without having a fender tag, which somebody took off. There's the screws for what it should be. So I don't know what transmission would have had. It could go either way. I might put a 4 or 5 speed behind a 440. I could put a 727 behind a 440. It's got a 294 Suregrip 8 3/4, so it's got highway gears. I really don't need overdrive with the 294s. So 4 speed. If I take the T10 out of the 40 Mercury, I could put that in here, bolted to like a quick time or something, bell housing to the big block Mopar. run a 4-speed in it on the floor, that'd be cool. I could use a hydraulic, I'm sorry, I could find the Z-bar linkage, or I could use a hydraulic clutch. You know, doesn't have to be perfect. But let me show you, I've teased it for this the whole video. Let me show you what's going to actually happen with this car. Hold on a second. Let's put the hood down. Right here, this is what's going to happen to this 69 Roadrunner. It's going to turn into a 69 Charger, and then it's going to become a 69 Charger Daytona. You heard me right. We're going to build a 69 Dodge Daytona. And you're like, what? It's a Plymouth Roadrunner. How can it become a Dodge Charger Daytona? Well, that's the beauty of the B-body. Essentially, from 1966 to 1970, all B-body Mopars are the same inner structure in the front, same firewall, same windshield posts. Dashes are different, interiors are different, but the same structure, the same floor pan. There's a little bit of difference, a wheelbase, the Plymouths and the Dodges. That's mostly with where they mount the shackles in the back, the inner structure. So what I really wanted to do, 69 Chargers, 68 9 Chargers, and 70 Chargers are unobtainium for me. They're a 69 Charger like this, like I said, is $15,000-$20,000. The guys I bought this car from, they're helping a guy do a 69 Charger RT. The guy paid $30,000 for the car in California, and it needs like doors, quarters, you know, floor patches, the whole 9 yards for a $30,000 car. So like I said, I paid $5,500 for this Roadrunner. I'm not a 68, 69 Roadrunner guy at all. I don't really like the look of them. I would love to have a 69 Charger, obviously, but the only way I can afford to do it is to build one. So luckily, through the aftermarket of AMD sheet metal, if you ever watch like Graveyard Cars, I can essentially, I have the B-body posts and cowl and inner structure. I've got the B-body hardtop, 2-door hardtop roof. I'm going to buy Charger doors, Charger quarters. I have an idea how to make this rear window plug, or I'll look for a Vega hatch to make the flush fit rear window. I'll get a AMD deck lid or a used deck lid to shorten it. AMD tail pan, used tail lights, AMD bumper. I'm going to get a fiberglass 70 hood because these use a 70 hood and they use 70 fenders, which are very, very expensive. 1 year only 70 fenders, and then you got to modify them to work with the nose kit. So I might see if I can modify 69 fenders, extend them out like that, but I'm going to go to Janak and get the Janak fiberglass nose kit and the fiberglass wing. I got to put in the order for that soon because I guess there's over a year backlog on those. So essentially, starting next year, I'm going to start working on this car. I might replace the frame rails and do a little tinkering in between there, but essentially all the Roadrunner stuff's going to come off, the front clip, the doors, all that's going to come off and get sold. I'm going to get all the 69 Charger stuff, wheelhouses, you know, Dutchman and all that stuff, turn this thing into a Charger. It's still going to be a 69 GTX on the registration and stuff. It's a clone car. It doesn't matter. I was looking at a 68 Satellite 4-door sedan. That actually was a complete car running and driving for $5,500, same price as this. But it, you know, you don't get the 2-door hardtop. You don't do all that stuff. So I'd have to buy the roof. I'd have to buy everything else, some of the inner structure and all that for the Charger, which would be even more money and more work. It had the wrong interior in it, so none of the interior would have helped me. It was a 318 car. This is a big block car. So it would have been nice because it's running and driving, but this I think is a way better candidate because it's already got the hardtop roof. It's already a big block K-member car. It's already got new floors in it. It's new front frame rails like I showed you. We'll do the rest of the new sheet metal. So essentially, probably 70% of this car will be brand new sheet metal when I get done with it. You know, the only thing that would be original would be the roof and the cowl and stuff like that in the dash. I don't know what I'm going to do for interior. I might make custom gauge panels because I'm going to have a feeling that Roadrunner and GTX dashes are expensive. Charger dashes are even more expensive. So it's going to be on the outside. It's going to look like this on the outside. It's going to be a clone car. Even a decent clone, like a Dodge Charger Daytona, they made 503 of them in America. I think they made a few for Canada, but 503 in the United States. They're anywhere from, you know, run and drive and finished cars are anywhere from like $400,000, $500,000 to a dark green one that's low mileage just sold. And I think it was a Hemi car. but just sold for $1.1 million. So if I can build a clone for like 20,000, you know, and have it be close, it's going to be, it is what it is, you know, like it'll be a big block Dodge Daytona 440 4-barrel, just like most of them came. Maybe 4-speed, it's a clone, but there is nobody driving their $1 million Dodge Daytonas around like on a street just for a whim. I'll be able to take this car and build it and drive it. You know, you see superbirds on the road, they're $250,000 to, you know, $700,000 depending what the superbird is, but they made almost 2,000 of those, so they're way more prevalent on the street. But you don't ever see Daytonas on the road, like clone cars, and like once in a while like at a high-end show. But like I want to drive this thing just around town, go get groceries, like here's my Daytona, right? So I could never ever afford to buy one of these cars, a real one, ever. You know, never ever afford to buy one. But with probably a year and a half worth of labor and $15,000 to $20,000, I can sure as heck build one that'll be essentially the same car, just, you know, the VIN tag will say it's a GTX, but it will be essentially a $1 million car for $20,000. Or, well, maybe not a million because it'd be a 440, but if I had a Hemi, it'd be $1 million car, you know, $1 million car. But essentially building a $20,000 clone of a $400,000 to $500,000 car, we'll say that. So that's what the plan is. Boom. 69 Dodge Daytona Charger out of a 69 Plymouth GTX Road Runner. What do you think? Let me know. It's ambitious. I got the idea watching them guys, the jump cars they're doing for Duke Fest, or they're taking Crown Victorias and skinning them with 69 Charger AMD sheet metal, you know, close, good enough for a show, jumping them and wrecking them. I could have bought a Crown Vic and built a 69 Charger out of a Crown Vic. I don't want that. This will be all Mopar. It'll be a 69 Charger essentially when I get done, except for the VIN number. It'll be a 69 Charger, and then it'll be a 69 Charger Daytona on top of that. You know, clone car. Like, it will be what that car was from the factory, just not, you know, an original one. But it'll be a very, very close clone made out of all correct parts. There's very few clones around. I think Janak builds like 10 or 15 nose and wing kits a year, you know, so, and how many of those cars are getting done? I've seen a couple guys on YouTube that are slowly building them, but they've been building them for multiple years. I hope to build this one, and I'm thinking about sticking one of the B5 blue. I've seen a Daytona in B5 blue with a white stripe on it, and it's a really, really nice looking car. This is originally a black interior car, so B5 blue, white stripe, black interior. I mean, that'd be a winner. That'd be a winner right there. And you know, this one's got the Magnum 500s on it. We already got the Magnum 500s on here. So that's my plan. Boom. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think. We'll see you next time. I guess.